Welcome to the AI Beehive Podcast, Real Estate and Mortgage Pros. This is your buzz for smarter tech, faster deals, and less grind. Let's get started.
Well, hey there. Welcome to another episode of the AI Beehive Podcast. My name is Ginger Bell. I have my co-host with me, George Chevalier. Hey, George, how are you?
Doing great. Hey, Megan.
Hi, I'm happy to be here, team.
Hey, yeah, we have a very special guest today. It is Miss Megan Anderson, and she is traveling. She is actually, you are almost to Boise right now. Is that right?
Yes, almost to Boise, Idaho, in the national forest right outside.
Very good. And so if you're not familiar with Megan, Megan is with MBS Highways. She does a lot of the videos, the podcasts, the reporting. And then she also started an incredible journey. And you're over 300 days now, 300 nights on the road. So in the van. So one of the things obviously in doing what you do, I know you involve a lot of AI. And so, talking about being on the road, how are you using AI on the road and doing what you're doing and traveling?
Oh my gosh. I mean, AI has really been such a pivotal tool to creating a life that's intentional for me again. I started the van life journey because I was extremely burnt out. Like you, Ginger, I was traveling around all over doing these speaking engagements, basically feeling like I was living in an airplane. And with that, I didn't really see too much of the country. Even though I was traveling all these places, it was like, oh, here's a steakhouse and here's the conference hall. And aside from that, I was seeing nothing else.
Right.
And that just completely burnt me out. And knowing myself, one place that I always feel like energy just comes back into my body has been in nature. And so I said, okay, how can I be intentional about this? And how can I begin to create a life that I'm not burnt out with? And so that's when I got the van. I thought I would renovate it in a couple months. A year later, finally hit the road. But yeah, as you mentioned, I've been in the van now for over 300 days, and AI has really made it possible. Technology in general. I mean, first and foremost,
Right.
Starlink has made it possible to be able to do this podcast here from the middle of a forest where there is absolutely no service whatsoever. But aside from that, it's really allowed me to kind of automate certain things like my newsletter that goes out every week, right? Now I can be out on a 14-mile hike and I'm not worried about it because I have the systems and processes all set in place, and AI really made that happen and possible.
Right. So what are you using for your newsletter? That's one of the things with the AI Beehive is, really providing some different resources besides ChatGPT. But it's interesting because I'm getting more and more requests as far as what AI can use, not just to write the content, but to post the content. So now people are starting to look at, okay, I get that I can do this, but how can I take it to the next step of actually doing the work for me? So are you using something
Right.
besides ChatGPT?
Yes. Well, I use Make. So just make.com. It allows you to build out any kind of integration, automation. I mean, if you can think it, you can ultimately create it. So I use a combo of ChatGPT, Google Drive, which is where kind of all the ideas kind of filter and get stored. And then I created an integration through Make that builds out that automation portion.
Okay. So it's like a Zapier kind of a thing. Make
Yeah.
is okay, perfect. So for those of you who are listening, what Megan's talking about is basically it's an API integration. So it allows you to take different technologies and connect them together, which is one of those things that when you look at all the different tools we have available, having something like Make to be able to connect those is important. But you also have to know how to put those together. And that's not an
Yes.
easy thing, right?
No, and everybody's so interested in getting to the automation point, and I
Mhm.
get that and I understand that because it saves time, but I will say, like, if you're just getting started with AI, start with just using chat to help you write it. Because you have to understand how these platforms work, how to get it to actually create an output that sounds like you and articulates the message that you actually want to get across. And so, you know, I advise people not just to jumpstart to the automation,
Right.
learn how it functions first and foremost, take it in baby steps, because that's when you're really going to build out an automation that now no one can tell the difference whether it's you or AI actually writing it.
Yep, makes sense.
That sounds good. I've known you through MBS Highway for so many years. And I love the way you pop on and you give us the updates and everything. And I want to just kind of talk a little bit about that because I know that we have loan officers that'll be listening in on the podcast. And I wanted to kind of shift the direction in their way or to their direction to show a little bit of the upgrades that maybe like, let's say, social studios,
Ye-
how
Yeah.
upgraded use AI in that as well.
Yes. So I just got done showcasing this on stage. So we have a tool in MBS Highway called Social Studio where we write done for you video scripts, and it turns your computer screen into a teleprompter. So, I mean, literally, if you can read, you can create video for social media. And you would think that would be enough to get rid of people's excuses. But
Mhm.
bottom line, it is not. At the end of the day, people still do not want to get behind camera. They are still hesitant to do so. And I'm here to tell you, you can find any excuse in the book to keep you from taking action. That's on anything in life. But particularly, video seems to be a challenge. So, one thing that I've been sharing with people is that you can take that script that we already have for you. And we recently started a weekly talking points. So, we take everything that we cover in our morning update video, which is all the different news, economic reports, what's going on with the Fed, everything like that. We take it for the week, the most important aspects, and turn that into a weekly script. So now what you can do is you can take that script and you can plug it into your AI avatar. And there's all different platforms out there for creating your AI avatar. I really like HeyGen, and I've been playing around with Hedra as well. I think that there's two different kind of use cases for those platforms, but HeyGen is a really great one. And you can just, again, take that script, pop it into HeyGen. And the longest and hardest part is waiting for that video to render. But that way, you have absolutely no excuse. All you have to do is copy and paste and wait a couple minutes for the video to render. And now once a week, you can at least have one short form video piece of content that you can go out there and post on all social media fronts.
Now that's a nice hack. I like that.
Yes.
But that built-in teleprompter,
Teleprompter.
it really makes it the videos less intimidating.
Yeah.
But I do like that hack with HeyGen, and we offer that too on AI Beehive in our directory. So thank you for that. What else? What else is new? I know you have the appreciation calculator in there, all sorts of other tools that could
Yeah.
benefit loan officers.
There are so many that can benefit loan officers. And I know we're talking here kind of a little bit about AI and also about MBS Highway. And there's a recent survey that came out from Cotality, and that's formerly known as CoreLogic, as many of us know in this industry. And they surveyed home buyers before and after the home buying journey. And in particular, they wanted to better understand how clients feel about the use of artificial intelligence in the mortgage process. And what they found was really interesting. So only 7% found the process straightforward. And major themes that kept popping up within this survey were stress and confusion. And when they were asked, who would you rather work for or talk with during critical time periods in the mortgage journey, 63% said that they would rather talk to a person. Only 12% said that they would rather use an AI standalone tool. And I bring that up not to keep us hesitant from using AI, but there seems to be a disconnect. And I think oftentimes people want to use AI as kind of not to say that we're lazy, but as a way to kind of make life a little bit easier. And I get that, but we need to understand that we need to utilize AI proactively. We need to use it in a way that is ultimately going to help build trust and allow us to step in where AI can't, right? And have that human level connection with the individual during one of the largest financial decisions of their lives, right? And so through the use and combination of using the tools in MBS Highway, like the appreciation calculator, where it's going to articulate the wealth opportunity that exists through real estate, or our buy versus rent scenario. Is it better to buy? Is it better to rent? How much better is it? articulating these tools and using these tools to help build trust, and then analyzing our business to determine, okay, where can we use artificial intelligence where it's not going to take away from that trust component, but it's actually going to accentuate it. That's what we need to do. And I think that, we're getting to the point where everyone is starting to begin to utilize AI from a company level perspective to an individual perspective. And our clients are starting to use AI in the home buying process, right? So it's important for us to understand it, but it's even more important for us to determine, how are we using it? And is it actually building trust within that client relationship, or is it taking away from it?
I love that. And the video part too, Megan, to the point as far as having the video scripts and reading it from the teleprompter. And I love Hey Jen. I think it's a great solution. But one of the things that I think we will see, especially as we get into more and more of these twins, as they're being called with AI, that authenticity of having yourself out there is so important. In fact, we just had a conversation with a vendor that came to us with one of their AI solutions, and one is a twin. And we were talking about, he says, well, if you don't want to record it, you can have your twin record it. But I think that's where the trust is so important for you, not to say, hey, this is me when you're using an AI bot, but to say, hey, this is Jenny. I'm Ginger's AI assistant, and I'm here to tell you. So I think, to your point, I love that statistic. I mean, 63% is staggering when you're looking at that. And important to pay attention to. So thank you for sharing that. And that's through the entire thing, from the beginning and what you're doing into marketing to the post-closing as well, right?
Yeah. And I would say, if you are going to begin to incorporate AI in your business, you mentioned the trust. It is important to let them know up front. So we all know, talking to someone in person, whether it be at a conference, in a room, sitting next to you, across the table, you build more of that trust on face-to-face interaction. And also in that study, what I also found really interesting, when they asked, who you trust in the mortgage process more, who scored the lowest? It was the loan originator. The real estate agent scored the highest. And I think a big reason for that is, again, if you think about the interaction that the client has with the real estate agent, it's all face-to-face. It's going to visit that home. They see everything from the client being disappointed in what they don't want and where, maybe that house is falling short, to falling emotionally in love and attached to a property, right? So it makes sense on why they trust that agent more. So let's take that kind of cue and that knowledge that we kind of gained through this survey, and if you can, every single chance, make that first interaction with the client one where you're sitting across the table from each other, you're talking, anything that kind of is the real you, right? And then once you build that relationship and they get started on the journey, I would say something along the lines of, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I'm so glad that you're trusting me to walk you through your home buying journey. I'm really grateful to be part of the process. I want to let you know that I do incorporate artificial intelligence, and through some major milestones in the process, you are going to be sent some videos that's there to educate you and help provide value. That is not me. That will be my AI avatar or my AI twin. But as always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out or call me. And that alone right there, that's going to build trust. And by utilizing that AI avatar to maybe send out a video after they submit their documentations or walking them through the mortgage process, right? That's not lacking trust. That's being there for them during those critical times when maybe you don't have the ability to hold their hand per se.
Exactly. I love it. Go ahead, George. I can see he's got a list of questions he's looking at there. He does little rapid fire things.
Yeah. So when you chat with true innovators, like let's say Karen Shaw with Macy 365, which emerging tools do you think will reshape the origination process over the next year, let's say?
Well, on an enterprise level, companies have started to adopt it on both the front and back end side of the process. And I think initially a lot of companies started on the back end process because it's less risky, less customer facing. I do get really curious and excited about more implementation on the front end side of things. The Maisie 365 that you're talking about, or UWM's Mia that they came out with, are all kind of similar in the process, where it's helping that sales individual, helping that originator stay up to date with communicating with their database. it will be interesting to see as more of this rolls out, how does that impact the trust factor?
Mhm.
Because I think that a lot of times it's that initial kind of part of the relationship. And I don't know. I don't have in particular the complete stats on that. Obviously, it'll help with, converting that client. The more you communicate with them, the more likely they're going to end up getting a call or a calendar booked on, on your schedule. But it will be interesting to see how clients feel if that does help build trust or take away from it.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, what are some of the surprising trends that you see with AI in relationship to how loan originators are using AI? What are some trends that you're seeing?
I think oftentimes the easiest place to start with AI and where I see a lot of originators beginning to utilize it is in marketing. And that's simply because it makes the process so much easier. I mean, this thing can help you strategize, it can help you create the content, it can help you schedule the content. It's endless, and it's such a great way to begin to utilize it. And I think utilizing it in places, I have a whole process. So if you're sitting there determining where can I use AI in my business, the first step is to analyze what your business processes are and your pain points. So what are you doing on a daily, monthly, weekly, quarterly basis? And then what are the pain points attached to that? So, for example, it might be, marketing might be part of my business process. And my pain points, one in particular for me, is we host these live webinars and the podcast, right? Like, I love doing it. I love interviewing people. What I don't like doing is spending the rest of the day afterwards chopping up that hour-long video into short form content. It's
Mm-hmm.
exhausting to rewatch that whole thing multiple times to try and get these cuts and then to come up with the titles and the summaries that are going on this page and that page and da-da-da. That was a pain point for me. So after you do that and you analyze your business processes and your pain points, the next step is to determine what AI solution can come in and help solve this. And you have this lovely group right here, and you guys just came out with an app that allows you to look at all these different AI solutions, and you can even save them so that they show up on your dashboard for you to revisit later. So go through and determine the solutions that will help solve that pain point. And then you have to determine, do I have all the information to begin to implement this, right? If we were using, for example, let's say a CRM platform that incorporates artificial intelligence, well, that's all fine and great, but what if we don't have a database? Well, that's not going to be very helpful, right? So you have to make sure that you have all the necessary information. And then from there, you just pilot it and continue to grow and optimize it. And that's another thing that I definitely want to highlight and focus on is, you never kind of set and forget these things. It's a continual building and a continual evolution. It's just like having a child or just us in general. We are never done learning, and we should never be done learning or refining ourselves. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we got to remember that we're just at the beginning of this. I
Yes.
mean, what we have today, when we look at it 2 years from now, it'll be drastically different. So you're right. You're right. It's an ever evolving.
And taking those baby steps too and beginning, little things are important. And you help with a lot of that. So a couple of things before we close out. First of all, Megan, I want to make sure that we focus on how people can reach out to you and get in touch with you, because you are starting in October. So if you're listening to this after October, you may be a little late, but I know you're starting in October, a very special AI opportunity for those who want to learn AI. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. So I host these monthly AI workshops, and they focus on all different tasks. And so the one in October is going to be specifically about utilizing AI to build and automate your newsletter. And you're going to want to make sure that you get on my newsletter. You can do that by texting Megan, MEGAN, to 33777. Or I will provide a link to you guys that you can put in the show notes. Get on that newsletter, because what I do is every month I send out a survey to you, and you tell me what you want to focus on and what you want to learn and what you want to automate through artificial intelligence. And then whatever wins is what the next workshop is going to be about.
I love it. I love it. And that's so cool because there's so many different topics. And so just kind of letting the audience dictate where it's going to go. So make sure and do that. We'll make sure and put the link below. And then also, I know you have some speaking coming up. You're going to be at a couple of different conferences, one that we're all going to be at, I know, and that's NAM National. So tell us a little bit about what you're speaking at these days, where you're speaking at.
Yeah, so at NAM Nationals, that's going to be later in October, the end of October, I believe. And we'll both be speaking there. I'm going to be speaking on artificial intelligence. I think it's one of the last days. It's either Saturday or Sunday, and it's a 2-hour workshop. So
Nice.
we are really going to be focusing on where we can begin to incorporate AI and use it strategically. So again, we're not taking away from trust with that client. If anything, we are building upon it and improving the customer experience. So you will not want to miss that. And then a couple weeks before that, I'm going to see you again. We're going to be speaking at the same conference in Cincinnati. So that'll be a blast. I'm going to get my ginger fill.
I know. We're on the road. I have to bring my RV. You can bring your van. We'll go travel together.
Love it.
That is great. Well, Megan, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your insight and your knowledge and your passion. It's one of the things that if you're wanting to learn something, just find the people that are talking about it and continue to follow them, just like Megan. And so make sure and do that. Megan, how can people follow you?
Yeah, so on all social media fronts, I am Megan Anderson.
Makes it nice and easy. So for those of you who are listening, thank you so much. And of course, if you are looking for any kind of AI tools, make sure you hop over to the AI Beehive. It's at aibeehive.com. So Megan, George, thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you on an upcoming episode or on the road.
Thanks for tuning in to the AI Beehive Podcast, where real estate and mortgage pros get the buzz on all things AI. Don't forget to subscribe, share the buzz, and visit www.aibeehive.com to keep building your smarter business. Until next time.